Penja pepper is a high-quality Cameroonian product. It is protected by a Protected Geographical Indication (PGI) label. This geographical area covers approximately 3,000 kilometers square and is divided into 6 districts and municipalities. The organization in charge of the promotion and protection of the Penja pepper label is the Penja Pepper Representative Geographical Indication Group, or GRIGPP. Within this group, each actor in the value chain is a guarantor of the sanitary and phytosanitary safety of the product. It is their responsibility to take all necessary measures to ensure that the product placed on the market does not pose a risk to the health of consumers, but also to guarantee the quality for which it is renowned. Indeed, at all stages of production, many risks of contamination of pepper can occur due to the presence of impurities, chemical residues, and mycotoxins. It is easy for each actor to limit these considerably by implementing good sanitary and phytosanitary practices. Here they are. In general, each operator must be made aware of good environmental, infrastructural, and equipment hygiene practices and methods, but also personal hygiene. Pictograms must be displayed at the entrance of each activity area: nursery, production, harvesting, processing, packaging, and others. Staff should be aware of the following practices and should ensure that these instructions are followed. Hand washing must be carried out before each step, as hands are a vector of contamination. Hand washing, and in some cases foot washing, should also be observed when the activity is terminated for personal reasons: going to the toilet, eating, change of activity, and others. A hand washing kit must therefore be available at the entrance to each area. Toilets must also be provided close to the operation sites. Operators are responsible for their own health and should not show any signs of illness at work. Before starting operations, the equipment must always be cleaned or even disinfected in some cases. Staff should record operations at each stage, noting the required information. The first step in the Penja pepper value chain is the nursery. It is one of the most important steps in the Penja pepper production chain. The cuttings, preferably orthotropic, must come from a pepper tree that is resistant to diseases and pests as well as to drought. A shade house should be built on a flat surface and close to water source. Staff should avoid using soil from a plot with high risk of contamination at all costs. This is the only way to avoid contamination from diseased plants or rubbish dumps. In the event of an attack by diseases or pests, phytosanitary treatments must be carried out in accordance with good practice for the safe use of pesticides, and a mineral fertilizer should be applied as required. Penja pepper production starts with the choice of a suitable site for pepper cultivation, located in the geographical area of Penja pepper. The soil must be volcanic, rich in humus, and not infested with rot or exposed to external contaminants or heavy metals. Above all, it must be well drained. When the site is chosen, a cleanup of the plot must take place, for example, by clearing it. The plot is then drilled in order to put in stakes for the plants. The plots are then planted and amended with organic matter. Then comes the harvest. The berries are harvested at different stages of maturity, depending on the type of pepper to be produced. These will result in various products: green, black, white, or red Penja pepper. Baskets and harvest bags must be clean. The bags can be either new or recycled. In cases where they have already contained foodstuffs, they must be emptied, washed, and dried. Staff may not use bags that have contained chemicals such as fertilizers, pesticides, or other products. The bags are then transported to the post-harvest processing station. There are two main types of Penja pepper on the market, produced by two different processing methods. This is the case of black Penja pepper, which is bleached after harvesting. It is destemmed and the debris is removed. Then comes the bleaching. This treatment consists of immersing fresh pepper in boiling water. Staff must put on a clean, waterproof apron before entering the bleaching area. They must be specifically made aware of the availability of the material. Drums, basins, pans, and perforated containers must be clean. In addition to hand washing, operators must wash their feet before accessing the area. Eating, drinking, and smoking are not allowed in the bleaching area. Another case of processing is the retting of white pepper. The retting of the white pepper consists of soaking the berries in the bags for 8 to 14 days, renewing the water every 48 hours. The pepper is then washed several times in running water to remove any plant debris. Staff must put on a clean, waterproof apron before entering the washing area. They must wear clean waterproof boots used exclusively in the washing areas. In addition to being clean, the retting tanks and basins must be disinfected. Staff should also wash their feet before entering the area. The water used for soaking must be clean, and the water used for washing must be clean and potable water. After the bleaching or retting process, the black and white pepper must be dried and sorted. Pepper drying consists of letting the pepper dry naturally for 2 to 4 days by stirring it several times a day and removing impurities and foreign bodies. Before receiving the product, the operator must ensure that the drying areas are in good condition, without cracks in the ground, but also that they are protected against animal intrusion. These areas, as well as buckets, squeegees, and tarpaulins, must be clean. Before entering the drying area, staff must wash their feet in addition to washing their hands. They should then, if possible, put on a gown, overshoes, and a cap. The berries are then sorted. Sorting consists first of manual or mechanical sieving to remove dust, pericarp debris, and residual impurities from the pepper. Next comes manual sorting to remove discolored, broken, or defected beans. Finally, grading consists of separating the pepper into different grades. The pepper cones are then put into bags. To do this, the operator must check the cleanliness of the environment, sieves, containers, bags, and transport vehicles. They must also check that the sieve is in good condition. The mesh must not have any holes. Transport occurs at several stages in the value chain. During transport, good hygiene practices must also be followed to avoid contamination of the pepper. Transporters and subcontractors will be assessed on the cleanliness of their vehicles or tricycles and on the application of good practices. Vehicles or tricycles must be protected from the weather, from rain, dust, and the like. Transporters should avoid transporting any other than pepper, especially chemicals and even people. All packaging operations are preceded by a pepper grading phase which allows to verify and validate the conformity of the product from the geographical area of the PGI. Several parameters are taken into account, such as checking the moisture content, the production area, and many others. During the packaging process, the barrels will be sorted again by hand. The barrels will then be packed and put into boxes. The operator must ensure that the room, floor, door, tables, and equipment have been cleaned and disinfected. Any other product than pepper is prohibited. It is important to ensure regular maintenance of appliances and equipment. In order to avoid possible glass breakage, protected light bulbs should be installed in the conditioning room. Staff must wear gowns, overshoes, and caps. The pepper must then be stored in conditions that meet the sanitary requirements. This means that it should be stored in clean, well-ventilated warehouses on pallets above the ground and protected from moisture. The packaged Penja pepper will then be distributed by the association's members actors as Geographical Indication Penja pepper in seed form. Again, operators will have to ensure the safety of the product. Penja pepper is a product of high quality flavor. It is the first product to be awarded the PGI label in sub-Saharan Africa and the first product from the AIPO area to be awarded the PGI label in the European Union. It is only by raising awareness of good sanitary and phytosanitary practices among all the actors in the sector that we will be able to ensure a quality product that has sustainable access to the most demanding markets. CCIMA and STDF would like to thank all the partners in the Penja Pepper Sector, in particular the Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mine and Crafts, and the representative group of the Protected Geographical Indication Penja Pepper for their support. For more information, please refer to the Guide to the Good Sanitary and Phytosanitary Practices and the GRIGPP specifications.